This is ABC15 Mornings.
Gas prices jumping 15 cents overnight.
We just can't predict how high these prices will go.
Is it time to suspend the gas tax? And what can you do starting today to cut down on costs?
If you think your rent increase is high, one Valley woman says she has you beat. I'm investigator Joe Ducey with how going month to month cost her so much.
It's not just about the money.
So if your solution is to throw money, then you're going to be standing there wondering what the heck's going on, because you're not going to get the response you want.
Why the boss should adapt or forever be stuck with a staffing shortage.
Play to Payne on the drive. Cam Johnson for three. Yeah! He got it!
The sequel is about to be better than the original. Your Phoenix Suns are back in the playoffs.
Yes, I mean, this is really exciting. It will be, I think, a lot less stressful the closer we get to the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
It's been an awesome team to watch.
Oh, amazing. Deep Book back, too, so we love to see that this morning. Hey, happy Friday Eve. Nick Saletti here alongside Kaylee O'Kelly.
And we do want to get over to our meteorologist, Iris Hermosillo, for a look at this forecast.
All right, let's talk about it, because we've got a storm on the way, guys. You've heard me talk about it the last couple of days, and you're going to walk outside and wonder, what storm? We've got dry conditions in the valley, and yeah, that's going to be the case through the day today. I think we actually see mostly sunny conditions, and as we look at Desert Doppler radar, it's all clear in the Phoenix area. But going into tonight, we've got a chance for a few spotty showers in the valley, and if you live north of the valley across northern Arizona, we've got snow. It's falling already in spots north of I-40 and near the Utah border. And as we go through the day today, it'll expand across northern Arizona with the potential for accumulating snow and blowing snow too, as winds crank up across Arizona. Now, right now, our temperature 49 degrees at Phoenix Sky Harbor. We've got some cooler spots. It's not as cold as it was yesterday morning, but chilly enough for maybe a jacket. Then we climb into the 60s by midday, into the 70s then this afternoon, with a high of 72. That's a repeat of yesterday's high temperature. But again, today more winds, and then those rain chances increase late this evening into tonight. So I'm going to walk you through all the changes, plus all of the alerts in place ahead of this storm in that full forecast is still ahead. Megan Thompson, though, giving us an update on our morning drive and walking us through some of the issues you're seeing out there.
Yeah, we have some crashes off the freeway, Iris, that I wanted to let everybody know about as we get a check of traffic, sponsored by Accident Law Group. Starting in the northern half of the valley, 51st Avenue and Happy Valley Road, that crash just popping up. Moving more towards the Phoenix area, right by the Toverey Castle, 40th Street, a crash at Van Buren Street, right there south of the Red Mountain 202. Again, off the freeway, those are the crashes that I'm tracking. Nothing on Valley freeways right now. Your speeds are dropping to about 50 miles per hour on the I-17 southbound as you're making your way to the stack right around Camelback Road. As we zoom in to the stack here, you're seeing some slowing on the 17 southbound and on the I-10 eastbound as you're making your way through. This is a live view of some of those headlights moving through the Phoenix area. Your desert drive times look like this. I-10 eastbound from the 303 to the mini stack in the yellow at the 6:02 time frame at 26 minutes, 14 minutes on the 17, and the 51 from the 101 to the mini stack is checking in at 13 minutes.
Well, as we go from your morning ride, we go to what we're all paying for gas. It is the most talked about story right now. This morning, the national average jumping again to $4.31 a gallon. Arizona is seeing a 15-cent increase overnight, and it means on average, again, we're paying about $4.54 a gallon, and the price for diesel, oh my goodness, officially passing $5 a gallon.
After dropping on Wednesday, Kaylee, oil prices are rising again. Crude futures jumping over $3 this morning. Currently, a barrel is over $114. We'll see where those prices go later today once the stock market opens in about an hour and a half. Happening today, the Senate will vote on a bill to ban Russian oil imports. The House passing that measure with bipartisan support. The bill is more symbolic and not necessary since President Joe Biden already announced a Russian oil ban earlier this week. But it does call for a review of Russia's status at the World Trade Organization.
Bottom line right now, we know gas prices, they're not coming down anytime soon, but there are some things that we can do to get the most out of every single gallon. And this is where we bring in our Amelia Fabiano with some ways to save. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Kaylee. Yeah, you really have to use every last drop, really get your bang for your buck, because look at this. We're at a Chevron in Phoenix at the corner of 24th and Washington. $4.99 for a gallon of regular unleaded, almost $6 for a gallon of diesel, $5.89 out here. One good tip, make sure you're using your phone. There are plenty of apps out there that show you where the cheapest gas station is going to be in your area. Also, now's the time to make sure you're taking care of your car maintenance. Little things like changing the oil, replacing your air filter can really improve your mileage. Also, try not to drive during rush hour. Keeping a consistent speed will actually really improve your fuel economy. So when you can, make sure you put your car on cruise. You're not revving that engine up. Also, check those tires. Here's why. Take a listen.
The number one things is to check your tire's air pressure. If a tire is underinflated, has lower pressure, it has a higher rolling resistance, the tire has to work much harder to get down the road. Sometimes people might think that using premium gas is going to improve their car's overall performance. But unless your car requires it, we wouldn't bother.
Yeah, also where you buy your gas can also make a difference. Gas stations further away from the highway also tend to be cheaper as well. Some lawmakers, as we've been telling you, have also been calling for the suspension of gas taxes to try and provide some relief at the pump. Critics to that, though, say they're not quite sure that there's a guarantee of that savings getting passed along to the consumer. They also think it might take away from funding for road projects. But regardless, it's definitely a good time to start thinking about maybe changing up your commute. Maybe not a bad time to think about starting to take the light rail here in the Phoenix area. Or, hey, Kaylee, even talking to your coworkers and saying, let's start up a carpool. You know, try and save where we can, right? There is a lot of options if you really get down to it. Back to you.
One way to get to know your coworkers and maybe even your neighbors better.
Exactly.
Gas prices now have some businesses thinking about working from home again. That might be a bonus for those of you who enjoy that, because there are some benefits to it. Working remotely, it's a benefit that the state does offer employees after being forced to switch to the option during the pandemic. And now the state uses the perk to attract new hires. The Greater Phoenix Chamber of Commerce says COVID taught employers to be more flexible and also allow for more remote work options.
Now to COVID-19, the number of cases in Arizona continues to drop. The latest weekly update from the State Department of Health Services adding just over 6,500 new cases and 382 deaths. That's a 32% drop in cases from the previous week. Our daily average for infections is now below 1,000. We have not seen that happen since last July.
It is 6:07. All new for you this morning. It's no secret. Rent prices, right? They are also on the rise here in Arizona. But a Valley woman reaching out to our Let Joe Know team after she was told to pay 5 times her current rate. So investigator Joe Ducey took action.
It didn't take Lana very long to show me around her Gilbert apartment.
And this is a bathroom.
One bathroom, one bedroom, 700 square feet total. At $1,400 a month and a new complex, it worked for the short time Lana needed it.
My house is going to be ready within 1 year.
But her new house is taking longer to build. So Lana asked the people at IA Apartments about a shorter lease extension so she could leave whenever her house was done.
Month to month, it makes more sense to me.
That's when Lana said she found this rate sheet stuck to her door and couldn't believe what it showed. Signing for a year would be $1,629 a month, not much higher than the $1,400 she was paying. A 6-month lease increased to $2,505 monthly. And if you went month to month, as Lana wanted,
$7,000, that is absurd.
$7,415 a month for her third floor, 700 square foot apartment. Lana thought maybe it's a mistake. She called management.
They say, yeah, that is the right number. I actually told them, it's like, this is a 1-bedroom. There is no elevator, there's no garage.
With no rent control in Arizona, landlords could basically charge what they want, but $7,400. Was it a deterrent? Do they think people would actually pay it? We took our questions to IA Apartments through emails and in person at their Gilbert offices.
Joe Ducey with ABC15. Do you have a manager who's here?
I was told corporate would handle it. No one got back to me. Lana says she expected an increase month to month, but thought having been there a year would count for more.
It's not about the money, it's about treating people the right way.
Still not knowing when her house was going to be done, Lana did what she tried to avoid. She signed a short-term contract, knowing she'd have to pay even if she left early. Are you a renter? What are you facing? Go to abc15.com/letjoeknow and tell me right there. I'm investigator Joe Ducey. If you got a problem, let me know.
All right, Joe, making it happen, that's for sure. It's 6:09. Our Phoenix Suns heading back to the playoffs. Can we get a round of applause for that for them? Yes, I know. They are the first team to secure a spot in the postseason with last night's win over Miami.
Playoffs begin next month. ABC15 is your home for everything NBA playoffs and the finals. The Suns will be back at home tomorrow night hosting the Toronto Raptors.
You want a fun fact?
Yeah.
Okay, the Suns have 16 games left.
Oh.
And if they win 10 of them, they're going to have the best record in franchise history.
Wow, that's amazing. It's hard to believe just 16 left.
I know. Where's time gone, right?
Right?
Yeah,
Oh, man, those playoffs are right around the corner. Next on ABC15 Mornings, the complicated world of online dating. Before meeting up with somebody, would you feel safer if you could run a background check?
And then meeting the needs of a changing workforce. How the remote revolution has companies working to adapt and keep employees.
I'm Joe St. George on Capitol Hill. Mothers who lost their children to fentanyl overdoses speak out about the conversations you need to have with your kids right now and what help they would like from Washington. Coming up.
A new crash to tell you about at 6:10 this morning. I-10 eastbound, the right lane is blocked there near the Salt River Bridge near University Drive. As you're approaching that area, flashing lights have just arrived on scene. So definitely slow in this area. We'll get you an updated look at your desert drive time still ahead.
It's 13 past the hour. Let's get to your morning headlines. Vice President Kamala Harris just meeting with the President and Prime Minister of Poland. The trip meant to show unity among NATO allies as Russia continues to attack and invade Ukraine. The VP embracing calls for an international war crimes investigation into Russia for targeting civilians and thanked Poland for welcoming refugees from Ukraine. Black Panther director Ryan Coogler mistaken for a robber. According to a police report, Coogler went to withdraw $12,000 from his bank account and wrote a note on the back of his slip asking the cash to be counted discreetly. The teller thought he was trying to rob the bank. Police handcuffed Coogler until his identity was verified. Tinder helping people get background checks on prospective dates. Users can find this in the app's safety center. The nonprofit Garbo will search public records for arrests, convictions, and sex offender registries. Tinder is giving users 2 free background checks to start with.
It's almost 6:15, and when it comes to loved ones lost to overdoses like fentanyl, a major complaint is lack of action. This morning, we're taking a closer look at President Joe Biden's plan to address the spike in deaths and what parents who have lost children say we all need to do right now. Here's our Joe St. George.
This is Parker Rodenbaugh.
All different names.
Peyton Presley Moore.
All
19 years old.
different ages.
He was 35 years old.
One similar story.
Pure grief. Pure pain.
That no mother should tell. Janice Berlin lost 2 of her boys.
It never goes away.
What is this grief? It's the effect of fentanyl, and each one of these young men died from it.
The drug dealers don't care.
Each one of these moms
Just happened in December.
now finding a way to keep living.
Had never heard of fentanyl.
What is fentanyl? It is classified as a synthetic opioid by the DEA and is produced in a lab. It's 100 times more potent than morphine, and while doctors use it in hospitals to manage pains or even sedate someone in ICU, because it's cheap to produce, more drug dealers are using it too. It creates a stronger high, a quicker addiction.
It's very cheap.
Cordy Rodenbaugh has been traveling the country ever since she lost her son, trying to get more people to pay attention.
It only takes a tiny grain to get you addicted. So they're putting it in Percocet, Xanax, anything they can.
And that's the point.
He was just wanting to have fun.
April Brown wants to get across to you parents. Talk to your kids. She says her son wasn't an addict or sought out fentanyl. He was a couple months into college and decided to take a Percocet at a party. It was laced with fentanyl. He died within hours.
You know, I experimented in college with certain things. I'm not ashamed to say that. I didn't have to worry about dying taking a pill.
Across the country last year, over 104,000 Americans died from an overdose. That's a record, and synthetic opioids like fentanyl are contributing the most to the spike. Those numbers attracting attention in Washington. President Biden pledging to spend over $23 billion this year to fight drug abuse. The money would be used for treatment centers and to better prevent fentanyl from being sold on the streets.
Something's got to be done.
In short, this group just hopes the country starts waking up. And while they believe President Biden's bipartisan plan is a start, more must be done. They'd like to see stricter penalties for those who deal drugs and more help for Border Patrol since they're seizing record amounts of fentanyl.
Don't say it won't be my child. It might be.
In Washington, I'm Joe St. George.
All right, the time right now is 6:17. Let's talk about your most accurate forecast because we've got a lot of changes coming to Arizona today, including to the valley as we track a storm system that's coming our way. We're talking winds, rain chances, and more snow up north. So as far as the winds go, the strongest will be in western Arizona, where we've got wind advisories. We're talking gusts as high as 50 to maybe 55 miles an hour in those areas. And that could lead to areas of blowing dust that could drop visibility. And with snow in the forecast up north, that could mean blowing snow that could drop visibility in northern Arizona. Now, as far as that snow goes, snow levels will be dropping to about 4,000 feet. Still anticipating 1 to 4 inches for most areas above that. For Flagstaff, that means about 2 to 4 inches of snow. Some of the higher peaks, though, the San Francisco peaks and those peaks in the White Mountains could end up with as much as 4 to 8 inches of snow. Now, for the valley, there's a chance for rain, but our chances don't kick in until late this evening and tonight. And at best, we're talking spotty showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm. Rainfall for those lucky enough to get rain will likely end up at less than 1/10 of an inch. So not much rain with this for us. It's going to be more of a wind impact here in the valley. And again, just a very slight chance for rain. That storm to our northwest, you see this dark spot on our water vapor imagery? That's that area of low pressure that's going to be working its way in, already prompting some of that snow in northern Arizona, mainly north of I-40 and especially right near Page and that Utah border into northwest Arizona, where we've got some of that snow falling now. As we go through the day today, watch Futurecast. That snow spreads further to the east from the Mogollon Rim up into northeast Arizona, and then eventually going into this evening, here's 7 o'clock, it's spreading into the White Mountains and that eastern pocket of the Mogollon Rim. Slick conditions will be possible across northern Arizona, along with that threat for reduced visibilities. A slight chance for showers kicks in after 7 o'clock here tonight in the valley, and then overnight we keep a very slight chance for spotty showers or thunderstorms, but it's only through about 3 to 4 o'clock tomorrow morning. I think after that, this storm system is clearing out of here, and we're done with a rain and snow potential up north by early tomorrow morning. Wind advisories, or rather winter weather advisories, in place across northeast Arizona, where we're going to see that accumulating snow. Some of the higher amounts again in Flagstaff, 2 to 4 inches. It's not going to be a lot of accumulating snow, but enough to create some slick conditions on the roads. And I mentioned winds. Well, they're really going to pick up, especially in western Arizona as we head into this afternoon and evening. Breezy here in the valley, but those strongest winds out west as high as 55 miles an hour, where wind advisories are in place, along with the threat for blowing dust. And so we've got some blowing dust advisories in western Arizona too. It's something to keep in mind if you're traveling to California or maybe to New Mexico, as that dust threat is also in place in southeast Arizona. Cooler to finish out the week, and then warmer this weekend with 80s in the valley starting Sunday.
ABC 15 Desert Drive Time, sponsored by Accident Law Group.
We've got a crash, a traffic alert to tell you about right now on the I-10 eastbound near the Salt River Bridge as you're approaching University Drive. I showed you these live images just before the break here, and it continues to be a problem as I've seen more emergency vehicles arrive on the scene, blocking that right lane. So folks are moving around this scene. Also, we're seeing some folks kind of diverting themselves at the very last minute. Make sure you're moving over when you see those flashing lights. It is the law here in Arizona. And if you can move over another lane, that's even better. You all have to slow down when going by because, of course, first responders and folks involved in this crash are likely walking around that scene trying to figure out how to get completely off of the roadway. Your speed's dropping in that area below 15 miles per hour. Looking at that desert drive time for you on the I-10 eastbound as you're making your way past this crash from the split to the 202 Santan. Right now, that is 13 minutes on average with that pocket of slowing. The Loop 101 northbound, we do have a crash off to the right-hand side at McKellips Road and 40th Street and Van Buren, a crash plus that slowing here on the I-10 eastbound. Another crash off the freeway, 103rd Avenue and Northern. Here are those desert drive times now updated to about 29 minutes on the I-10 from the 303 to the mini stack, 12 minutes on the 17 and 13 minutes on the 51.
Well, how about this? Free movie, free parking, plus you can bring the family and your pets? Yeah. At 625, the city ready to host an epic outdoor movie night.
Then at 635, watching your wallet, we look at more ways you can save as we deal with the pain at the pump.
And don't let your kids make the same mistakes we make. At 638, our Smart Shopper team sharing how to teach your kids about money.
And at 6:49, we're looking ahead to next week. Plenty of sunny days in that super 7-day forecast. 624, the Great Resignation also leading people to make a career change. A new study from Pew Research finds 53% of people who left a job last year changed their occupation. That number was even higher for young people at 61% and lower for workers 30 and older. Looks like young people aren't as interested in higher pay when it comes to their job search. Some new data showing a small pay increase is about half as likely to attract younger generations compared to baby boomers.
Employers are going to have to develop you as a professional and a human to keep you.
Well, career advisors say there are a few things everyone should think about when you're job hunting. What do you value? What are you looking for? Maybe a better work-life balance, somewhere you can work from home and in person, or somewhere you'll get more training and advanced career opportunities.
Well, a movie night under the stars. How about this? A little action, some adventure, food, and a whole lot of fun. Let's take a look at this morning's bulletin board. You'll want to catch Ron's Gone Wrong at Fletcher Heights Park in Peoria at Saturday. Now, the show's going to start at 6:30, but that is not all. As a pre-St. Patty's Day celebration, there's going to be a treasure hunt where kids can search for hidden leprechaun coins. And do not miss the Nerf war either. You can bring your Nerf gun. Oh my goodness, this can be awesome. They're going to provide the targets and the ammo. And if you get hungry, stop by the food trucks. That fun is going to run from 5 to 8:30. The whole thing is entirely free. Activities and entertainment for the entire family. That is your Thursday morning bulletin board. At 6:30, the majority of adults are in some sort of financial debt here in this country. Most kids don't know yet how to deal with money. So in just 10 minutes, we have an exclusive Smart Shopper report on teaching the importance of saving to the next generation.
And these numbers are getting harder and harder to look at. But coming up after the break, I'll have some tips to help you save and really get the most out of what's in your gas tank.
And it's not just paying more at the gas pump, but at the grocery store as well. I'll be breaking down brand new numbers from today's inflation report.
Today's temperatures across Arizona very similar to yesterday, highs back in the low 70s, but we've got winds picking up across the state, rain chances for the valley, and snow coming to the high country. I'm going to take you through that most accurate forecast in the next half hour.